If you clicked on this video because you want to know how you can get into CBS even though you don't have the grades, keep watching because I'm gonna go through the whole application process for the tool. At least I wish someone would have made this video for me and made it easier for me to apply to Copenhagen Business School, because honestly, I'm just super excited for today's video. It's gonna be a lot different from my usual content. We could be freaky when we're not working, you know. Okay, great. If you guys enjoy this video, make sure you leave it a thumbs up button if you do. Subscribe down below for more videos. But yeah, let's just get into this video. Woo. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. To those of you who don't know me, my name is Rikke. Normally I post around fitness and lifestyle, body positivity and health like that. But I have gotten so many questions about my school, Danish university, what I'm studying, everything like that. I just decided to do this video instead, being a little bit more elaborate on both the Danish school system, how I got into CBS, my grades. Okay, this is super weird because I haven't been filming a video for now like 3 weeks. And I feel really bad. I had to have my wisdom teeth removed. I had to recover, and first week back to uni I was just so busy that I literally did not have time to make any content. Recovering for 12 days, that's where I've been if you're wondering. My last video I also just was off. I was like, I'm coming back, but now I'm really coming back, I promise. Okay, I think actually we're gonna start with, you know, why I wanted to go to CBS, my motivations to apply. CBS is one of those universities in Denmark where it's really hard to get into. It has, like, at least if you're a Dane and you're applying from within the Danish educational system, it can be quite hard to get into CBS because the grades criteria, the average grade point you need to have to get in is fairly high. In Denmark we don't measure by a very broad ABC system. We do convert our ETCS point into those to compare to other university programs if you want to go on exchange, and so I'll talk about that a bit later. In Denmark we have like what is called a 7-scalar graded point system. Basically it goes from -3 till 12, where 12 is the high grade you can get. And for a lot of the programs at CBS you need to have a grade point average of at least 9.5. That is fairly high. To get into CBS you have to have really good grades. I mean, for my program it's like 11.8 when I applied, and there's another program where you need to have 12.2. If you followed what I just said, you know, that's even above the scale. Even those who are lower grade point average is still above 9. In general, it's really hard to get in on your grades. That's also why I'm gonna address the application process in a bit. QUOTA 2, how you can get in even if you don't meet the grades criteria. Of course, you can also apply by just your grades, but I'm gonna talk about that. So I basically wanted to go study at Copenhagen Business School because I've always loved to speak English. I have been traveling a lot. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna live in Denmark, but I just knew that I wanted to create bigger opportunities for myself in terms of my career. There's only that amount of people in Denmark, maybe 6 or 7 million people in the world that speak Danish. So for me, an essential thing of my further education was that I wanted to study in English in particular. That was essentially the bottom line why I started to look at CBS programs, because there are not that many programs in Denmark, university programs, where you can actually study in English. Second, I really wanted to go to CBS because of the opportunities that and the connection it has in terms of exchange. Third, it was just, I have always been really interested in business and business processes, phenomena of business markets within the world. Fourth, it's probably that my A-levels, my secondary of education, the Danish gymnasium, I studied political science at a high A-level. Social science studies and politics has always been like my major focus of my major assignments. I just knew that I wanted to study politics, and I knew I wanted the aspects of it in being internationally and in English. That already narrowed it down that I could basically only go to CBS and study in Denmark. If you want to study political science, you can also in Denmark do what is called statskundskab, but that is more Danish version of political science at a higher level at university, whereas my program I choose to apply to at CBS is called International Business and Politics. Basically, there's only one program in entire Denmark that is called International Business and Politics that kind of plays with the interaction between business and politics. For me, it was kind of like I knew I wanted to go to CBS because I wanted to study this particular program at CBS. So the Danish educational system is quite different from the States at least. At colleges, you might even be able to change your major until your last 2 years of college, where in Denmark it's a lot more specific when you apply to a program. So like I just stated, my program is the only program in Denmark that has this profile and studies. To be quite specific and narrowed down when you apply at least. So yeah, I think those were some of my main reasons. Also, like CBS has international programs like mine. There's 40% international students, and that was really appealing to me too. Whole meeting other cultures, studying with amongst students and colleagues that were from other countries. I mean, I studied with people from Germany, Sweden, Norway, but also from Canada, and then we have some from China, other places in Europe, some from the States. And you might ask, like, why didn't I go abroad and study? But in Denmark, we go to university for free, pay a high amount level of taxes, which a lot goes to the educational system. I'll talk a bit more about the actual Danish educational system in another video if you guys are interested. I have no idea if you are. Basically, I don't have to pay to go to uni, and that was a real big thing too, of course, in terms of choosing university, that I didn't go abroad. Applying to CBS was basically the best option for me because it was free and it had like all the criteria I wanted internationally. Being totally honest, I actually wanted to go abroad and study my university degree. Being kind of stupid to me when I could do it for free in Denmark. I think that sums up like some of the reasons why I chose CBS. Now I'm gonna talk how I actually applied to CBS, the applicational process, how you apply just by your grades and your quota too. I wish someone would have made this video for me and made it easier for me to apply to Copenhagen Business School, because honestly, okay, I'll get into that, but the application process is just, the longitude is really long. It was really frustrating and annoying, but I mean, I got in, so it was totally worth it. But yeah, I just wish someone would have put this out on the internet for me. So now I'm gonna do that. You guys, please, if you found any of this information helpful, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. I'm sitting here and sweating and whatever. My applicational experience was a bit mixed. I have to talk a bit about my grades. I'll not get really elaborate into like the Danish educational like system. Like I said, leave me a comment if you want that. I just have to talk a bit about my grades in order for you to understand like how I applied to the programs. My program had like a grade average point of 11.8 when I had to apply. So in Denmark, it's the norm that you take a gap year from graduating your secondary upper education. You could say high school, but it's a lot different than high school. Between those years, from graduating until university, most people take 1 or 2 gap years to travel, get work experience, make up for grades they didn't get before graduating, essentially. And that's what I did as well. I have always been, if I do say so myself, a good student. I have always gotten, you know, A grades in like almost every course. Math has always been my weakest course and class, but I have always managed, you know, still to get a decent grade. I had to work a lot harder than all my other classes. Essentially, in the Danish gymnasium, I'm just gonna say high school now, but please note that it's not the same as high school. I'll talk about that in another video. From my graduate grades from Danish gymnasium, I had grade point average of, I think it was just under 11. I think it was like 10.7 or something. It's quite good, but fucked up, to say the honest, at some of my exams. So I would have had a grade point average a lot higher, but I really basically fucked up a lot of my exams. I don't know why. It's so long ago now. Though I did have very good grades in the courses that was relevant to the program I was applying to, which I will get into in a second. My program that I really wanted to study, which we just talked about, had a grade point average of 11.8. I just had a grade point average of 10.7. I basically knew that even though I had a good grade average point, it just wasn't good enough to get into that program that I wanted to. In Denmark, we have what is called QUOTA 2 applications. QUOTA 2, which basically allows you to, in that gap year that most people do take, to go and get credit and earn up for the grades that you didn't get in your Danish gymnasium is to X exam or X exam. So what you can do to get a better chance of actually getting in, you can use this gap year and plan it out, which is also why I really wanted to get this video up now. In Denmark, you can earn these credits to get in by QUOTA 2. There's not a lot of programs that are international and take foreign applications, but for instance, my program and studies, they do. So what you can do to up your chances of getting in is that you have to go out and earn what is called applicational credits. You can do that by go and work a full-time job. There's like a lot of criteria that you have to fill in order for it to count as a credit. But basically the school doesn't discriminate upon which work experience you have, because that is work discrimination and you can't do that. So it doesn't matter if you have worked had a fancy internship somewhere, if you have, doesn't matter if you had a fancy internship somewhere, worked supermarket, honestly it doesn't matter. What matters are that you go out and you work a full-time job. And I can't remember the specific criteria. You can read those on the school's website. That is somewhere around full-time job, 35 hours a week, and you have to do that extended period of at least, I think it's 4 or 3 months in one row in order for it to count as a credit. The amount of level of credits you can get on your QUOTA 2 application, 12 months. It don't take more than 12 months. So for those who have 2 or 3 gap years, have a lot of work experience, that doesn't count. The maximum level of credit you can get accounted for is 12 months. You're thinking, oh, I have to take 2 gap years because then I can earn more credit, up my chances of getting in on a QUOTA 2 ANSØGNIng QUOTA 2 application. Not how it works. You have 12 months in order. Then you can also, of course, go exchange. You can read up on courses online, take courses at a university. You can also get accounted for traveling. And I think that this is pretty damn cool. A lot of people in their gap year, they either do these 2 things. So it makes sense that you can earn credit in that way. If you go travel, it has some criteria too. It has to meet, you know, an extended amount of time at a certain place, and you really need to document the shit out of it. I'll tell a bit more about that in a second. But essentially that's the 2-3 ways that credit in order to make your application look better if you go by QUOTA 2. The way that I earned my credit was that I knew that I wanted to study IBP. That's the shortened name for my program, International Business and Politics. So yeah, I knew that I wanted to study that program at CBS, and I knew I didn't have the grades. I still had good grades, but still needed more credit in order for my application to look better, to even become a consideration as an applicant. I moved to Boston and I lived there for 4 months as I worked. That essentially is double credit, which a lot of people also get if you're both traveling and working at the same time. That was how I earned credit for my first 6 months, and then the next 6 months I worked full-time here in Denmark. Really important about this is it doesn't matter even if you have those 12 months of credits if you don't document the shit out of it, like I am telling you. I just want to say, you know, the applicational fee for QUOTA 2, if you don't have the grades for the degree you want to study, do it very early, which is also why, again, I want to get this video up as soon as possible now, here in the beginning of fall, because at least QUOTA 2 here at CBS is in March. At that point, you will already have to know most of your gap year, where you're gonna earn your credit, so you can put that on your application. The way it works is that around June or July, you have to resend your application with the documented credit that you accounted for in your application when you first applied, back when the fee was in March. You have to document the shit out of it. By that, if you go travel documents, even just flight tickets, of course your visa, honestly just so many papers, so many files you have to remember to put within your application. You know, for your work it's a lot less work because you just need to fill out these official forms from the site from CBS that your employee has to sign. It's a lot of work and it will not promise you to get in, but it will higher your chances a hell lot. That said, even though I think I accounted for maybe 10 months of those credits out of 12, said I was just around 1 grade under what my degree actually needed to have in order to apply. The way that they account for these extra credits, I just wanted to put it out there, and the only reason why I know this is because I went to a workshop. It's a knowledge to do a good QUOTA 2 application, and I would actually really recommend you to do so if you're thinking about going by a QUOTA 2 application. Go to a seminar where they tell you the requirements of, you know, in more detail than I just did about earning your credits and everything like that. So I highly recommend you to go do so. For some of the QUOTA 2 application and programs like mine, you have to write a motivational letter stating, you know, why you wanted to study that specific program, what my motivation was for the specific program, what you can contribute to that particular program, why you would be a good fit. You basically have to sell yourself to the school. Because my degree has such a high grade average point, they actually do take in 40% people from QUOTA 2 application because they really want people who really want to be there, you know, people who has to go through this extensive applicational process, write a motivational letter. They really want to be there. This is sounding harsh, but you know, you're not gonna get in there if you're not doing that applicational process right. If you're not writing an extended motivational letter about why you should be there, what you can contribute with, and why they should pick you, they will pick someone else because there's so many applicants. Really do take your time on this application process. Do attend the workshops, because I also went to a workshop on how and what they wanted in a motivational letter. Okay, my camera just died. I hope that I'm picking up on the right place. So the thing you need to realize about QUOTA 2, they're still gonna look at your grade. Even if you have 12 months of grade credit, your grades are far below from the criteria. There are probably gonna be other people who has higher grades with the same amount of, you know, credits that you have. So just keep that in mind, that maybe you're gonna get in, but you still need to have good grades. CBS in general still care about good grades, even if you're applying by QUOTA 2. I think that was everything I wanted to go through by the applicational process. If there are some things that I'm saying that doesn't make any sense, make sure you leave a comment and I'll make sure to answer them all these notes that I want to talk about. So I'm just gonna, guys, of course you can also apply by just your grades, which you do in June. July, when you do get your results, waiting online at 12 o'clock at night. I was sitting online and I was waiting for my answer, and I didn't get any answer. And even if you get rejected, you do get an answer in your e-box. I don't know how to say that in English, because anyway, sitting there online, I was so, you know, excited, nervous at getting this answer that would determine the next 3 years of my life. I don't know if I mentioned it actually. A university degree in Denmark is 3 years. Again, we can talk a lot more about that in another video. Maybe I should have said that. You're sitting there at midnight and I didn't get an answer, and I was like, oh my god, did I didn't get in? Even I should have gotten a rejection. I was like, where's my rejection? If I'm being honest, even though I didn't apply to any other programs, that might seem kind of foolish, but you know, we're gonna make a break it and then we're gonna try again next year. I actually didn't expect it to get in. Sitting there at midnight, I didn't get an answer. I was like, okay, I got rejected, and they forgot to mention it to me. Sat up until 1 refreshing the page, like, and I just didn't get any mail, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed and then I'm just gonna cry in the morning. Woke up, and then online we got a service messages. Now the service that had to reply to all these applicants for all the universities has gone down. I saw, you know, received message at like 6 a.m. in the morning, and I got application fee saying, you know, I got in, congratulations. I bawled my eyes out. I just went up to my parents and they're like, oh, you got rejected? I'm like, no, I got in. Like, last thing I just want to say, you know, CBS stereotypes. In Denmark, there are so many stigmatization about my school and this university, that everyone that goes to Copenhagen Business School, because we study economics, we're snobbish, super uncompelling people, that we're all about business, we don't know how to have fun, go around the school in suits. I mean, a lot of people do dress like business casual. Some people that are very like business-y. It is a business school. Please don't let it scare you if you want to go to Copenhagen Business School, because I mean, I have gotten some of the best friends there and there are so many nice people. I will say that even though there are all this stigmatization that we're like very snobbish and whatever, I would actually say the opposite, because Copenhagen Business School, because there are a lot of like international programs, there's such a big diversity compared to a lot of other Danish universities. I'm just saying, if you want to apply to CBS because there's a program you want to go study, don't be scared by the stigmatization of the school, because it's not true. Anyways, I hope you guys found all of this information helpful. Thumbs up button, I would really appreciate it and really help my channel out. And otherwise, I'll do a follow-up video on this where I record like a realistic day at Copenhagen Business School. It is a lot of work to study at CBS, but you get an amazing degree and a good stamp on your educational papers, so it's totally worth it, I would say. But I'll see you in that follow-up video where I take you through lectures. Until then, see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe down below for more videos so you don't miss it. Bye. We're done for today.